Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called thereisonlyonefootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff, from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, thereisonlyonefootball.com.
There is only one football!
Right now, that game, the people of the game, we are the Soccer Psychos of Australia, the Soccer Psychos of Australia here right now. Welcome everyone to Football This live tonight from the CCP capital of Victoria. Yes, we are ready and waiting and happening right now tonight, guys. Hup, check it out. Hup, feel it, boys. Here we go. Hup, feel it. Hup. The cup of life. This is the one.
This is the one.
Now is it time?
Now is it
Don't
time?
ever stop.
Don't ever stop.
We shouldn't
We
know.
should've known.
Gotta be strong.
Gotta be strong.
We should've known. Right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it.
She-bang.
I see it in your eyes. You want the cup of life.
The cup of life.
Now today's here, you're gonna get
We're
it.
gonna get it. Yes, we
Do you
are.
really want it?
Hey!
Do you really want it? Hey!
Oh! Here
we go.
Wale,
Ali, Ali, Ali. Go, go, go. Ali, Ali, Ali. Tonight's the night. We're gonna celebrate.
We're gonna
Okay, guys, tonight we've got special guest Carlos Bielli, Planet Football, and yes, one of the forgotten heroes of the forgotten championship team. That's right, Brunswick Juventus. We are the people, we are the passion, we are the history, we are the Soccer Psychos of Australia, and we bloody well love it. Thank you, guys. Welcome to Football This Frothy. We've got some special guests right now. We're seeing everybody seeing us right now. It's all done.
Now, listen. What happened?
Yes.
What happened last night? I heard there was a bit of an issue here with the. Was there a power outage?
Yes.
What happened?
Well, you see
Just
what happened.
briefly, because I've got a lot of things to cover.
Daniel Andrews cut our power last night. He's become the CCP bloody idiot.
Daniel Andrews. Look,
We can't
let's
say too
forget
much about him.
politics.
Now, we've got to talk about this real quickly.
No, we've got to talk about this now. Listen up. Now, clean out your ears, fellas. Look, there's let's cut this really short now. Demonstrations all over Melbourne.
Turn around. Somebody wants to see your number on your jersey.
Well, let's have a look here. I don't know where they can see that.
Frothy 69, and I am number one, Harry Sunday.
Well, you are number one, according to the girls. I reckon you're number one for obvious reasons.
Well, we've got to bring these guests on.
But listen, it is all happening now. The protests are over, but I tell you what, there's something brewing.
Yes.
There's going to be a massive protest now with the suburbs, South Melbourne. We're not talking about 18. There is going to be... Hell is going to break loose because the rumour is I have inside information. Well, listen.
And Nick McCoustis is listening right now, the chairman chairman of South Melbourne. So please tone it down a bit. Thank you.
Well, I didn't say South Melbourne. You said that. There's a club that plays in South Melbourne, Harry. Now you know this.
I'm not talking.
I know this.
I'm not talking.
Well, listen. Now we spoke off air about this, and there is the strong possibility. Now, Carlos, Andrew, listen up, of a merger.
Oh, no. We've got someone to talk about that later on, but
I've heard something.
Yeah, leave it there because right now
That's what I've heard.
Now, Andrew Zinni, welcome tonight to Football S.
Well, that deserves a round of applause.
Andrew, you there?
I think he's gone home.
G'day, Harry.
Well, thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us tonight. Thank you for being patient with us. And Carlos, welcome from New South Wales.
Is Carlos still there? Is he gone home?
Well, it's always a pleasure to be invited back each week, and
we enjoy you.
Part of the show. Now, Harry, I'm thinking that's introduction song that you perfected.
Oh well,
I think we should change the word to up there Casaili and up there Harry and Frothy.
We'll be,
make it really Victorian. You know what I mean? Up there Casaili.
Well, you see,
AFL. Iconic song, you know what I mean, Harry?
They'll get me for copyright if I did that in there. That's for sure.
I'm sure you could tweak the words and have a very unique up there, Harry. If you play AFL, Harry, you're all-rounder.
Yeah.
I have done that in the past, and I'm still doing it.
Can I just say this? You having a law background, without mentioning that you're a lawyer, sorry about that, well, maybe you can advise us how we can get around that so we can have our own song and use the tune to Up There Sunday.
Gentlemen, right now, I want to speak to Andrew for a moment. Andrew, welcome tonight, as I said before.
Yes, no, Andrew,
you played for a club during the NSL in 1985.
Yes, he did.
And nobody speaks about them, Andrew. Is that true?
Well, certainly in any social media or any discussions that I have with people involved in the game, we are the lost, forgotten team from the mid '80s. Yeah. So I'd have to agree with that, Harry.
I'm going to go back and give you names right now.
Yes,
I'm going to give you names here,
and
these are certain players who were actually pinched, I think, but I'm not going to mention the club.
Well, they were bought.
Bought. You buy everything. Paul Wade. You know him, don't you?
Yes.
Andrew?
I think I know Wadey pretty well, yes.
Mehmet Durakovic.
There goes another champion.
I know him extremely well.
Mickey Peterson.
Another champion.
I know him even better.
Yes.
Joe Palazzidis.
Since the age of 7 or 8 years.
Joe Palazzidis. Joe Palazzidis.
Yeah, I know Pala as well.
And I also got this name here, Andrew Zinni. I think you know who that bloke is.
Yes. Are we talking to him, are we? Is that Andrew?
And Jakubanovic.
Jakubanovic.
No, I don't think Jaka was ever pinched, but I tell you who was pinched.
Yes.
The year after we won the '85 NSL title was a fellow by the name of John Margaritis.
Oh well, just guess what? Guess what?
Boy.
That was the next name on my list. The last name. That was if I showed you the paper. That was the next name.
Yes.
If I show you the paper, I'm going to put it up there, and that was the last name. And honestly, that guy was an amazing coach. Is that right?
Absolutely amazing coach and amazing role model for us as well. I mean, he certainly brought a different approach to the game than I was ever used to, and certainly was able to put together a formidable team for those couple of years that he was at Brunswick Juventus with us. Yes, definitely.
And the thing about this is that now you guys not only I could mention another name here too, and this was a little bit after. We're talking about Paul Trimboli as well. That's where he came from.
Paul Trimboli?
No. Trimmers did not. He didn't come from Juventus. But I'll tell you one other name that you may remember that actually was part of that exodus from Juventus to South Melbourne was a fellow by the name of Richard Miranda.
Oh, my God.
Well, Miranda was almost an Oscar Crino, I'd say. Andrew, would you agree there? I take it it's a yes.
Yeah,
go on, Andrew. Can you say something about Richard Miranda being the...
almost a
Oscar Crino? My God.
Almost.
Look, I think they were completely different players. I certainly think that they would have been players that would have complemented each other's style. Oscar being such a creative player and probably one of the most creative players we've ever seen grace, the Australian soccer scene. And Richard was, he left nothing out on the pitch. He was a ball winner. He would rarely come out second best in a one-on-one tackle. So they certainly would have complemented each other extremely well. But again, yes, you're right. I mean, certainly part of the 85 championship winning team that has been long forgotten.
Now, Carlos, you got some questions for Andrew, I bet you.
Absolutely.
Yes, and you talk about the influence that John Margaritis had upon you as a player. What did he bring? What did he teach you? What did he do for you or show you that made you a better player all around? Because you speak very highly of him, and so does the rest of the football community.
Yeah, look, John was an interesting character. He was known as the old fox, and generally, I suppose coaches will structure their teams around the way they want to play and portray their style. John was a bit different. He adjusted his game based on the opposition, and I think that's why he was known as the wily old fox. He had a way of looking at the opposition, understanding their strengths and weaknesses, and adjusting the game plan accordingly, which I think he did better than most coaches that I had over the years. At a personal level, I mean, I was very young at the time. I think when John came across to Brunswick Juventus was our first year when we were admitted into the National League from the State League, and I think it was about 1984. It was the year before we won the championship. I was a pretty young player at that stage. I think I was barely 19 years of age, and fair to say that I was a bit of a raw talent. And what John taught me to do was actually how to find the back of the net and position myself in such a way that would allow the team to create the opportunities and for me to be there to put them away alongside Joe Sweeney, who was, I suppose, my striking partner at the time. I think he did that in such a way that impacted the rest of my career, and certainly to this day, and even when I impart whatever knowledge I have in the game to younger people and I suppose teams like my sons have played in over the years, I always refer back to the way John got me to position myself and hold my run. One example was just holding my run to a point where I can see the near post and the winger crossing the ball in, so that I can see basically everything in front of me and be at full speed when I'm making contact with the ball and finishing. That's the sort of stuff that is impregnated in my mind, and I suppose I will never ever lose. And I think that's one thing that he allowed me to do, not allowed me to do, but got me to achieve as a young raw player, and that is to actually learn how to finish at the highest level.
That's amazing.
And that's something that I'm incredibly grateful for, having spent those couple of years under John.
Coaches like this, Andrew, will always last a lifetime in your mind when you know you've had success and things happened in your life because of this guy, and you always look at a coach sort of as a psychologist as well, and we know that for a fact. So I know the effect that he's had on you, but I want to go to a different place right now, Andrew. I want to go. Sure. Where did you start? Where did you start the game? Where did you play at the beginning?
Okay, well, I grew up in Elwood,
yes,
a local suburb, and in Elwood, Melbourne, Hungary, is where their I suppose training ground was located.
Yes.
And at the age of 7, I joined the local team, which was Melbourne, Hungary. And within a couple of weeks of joining, pure coincidence, Mike Peterson joined the same team. And we played together a year above our age group at Melbourne, Hungary. Over a period of probably five or so years, we had a coach by the name of Leif Jensen, who was a a Danish fella who had an incredible appetite for the game and an incredible passion for the game, and really made us enjoy what we were doing week in, week out. And I suppose that's where we developed the love for the game. The club unfortunately disbanded by the time we were about 13 years of age. And at the time, there was a local other team who was actually playing in their own age group. So a year below myself and Mike, who were playing a year up. And that was a team by the name of Port Melbourne. Yes. And at that team, and I'm sure that many people who are listening who have probably heard the story over the years, at that team, there were already some well-recognised junior players in the likes of Aki Kotsomakalis, Mehmed Jurakovic, Peter Tsalakis, Joe Palatides.
My God.
So these boys were already in an exceptional team, and myself and Mike were left at Melbourne Juniors, who had actually merged with St Kilda Harcoa for our final year, which was under 13s. And then they fell away as well. So Mike and I were I suppose, well acquainted with these boys from Port Melbourne, and they'd always asked us to go and join them and make them an even more formidable team than they were. So Mike and I decided to drop down a year, play in our natural age group, and join these boys at Port Melbourne. And then we had an incredible amount of fun and success over a 3 or 4 year period until such time as an under-16 I was spotted by Tony Bodgie, who was the Juventus senior coach, and asked me to join them while I was doing year 12. And that's pretty much where my career started. And then within a year or so of myself joining Juventus, the Juventus senior team, I brought across Joe Pella, Mem Jurakovic, and Mike Peterson. Everyone knows the story that they were able to provide the Australian soccer fraternity over the years, and that's basically how it all started.
Amazing. Now, before I bring Frothy on, I've got a few questions. You did play for the Socceroos, is that what you did? Play Socceroos, didn't you?
I did. Yes, I did.
Now, before I ask you the questions about the Socceroos, I'm going to ask you these questions where I've also asked a gentleman a few weeks ago when Atek Yenk. You know who Atek Yenk is, of course. Yes. Now, this is the question I asked him. Of course you know him.
Hungarian,
and I said to him, did you ever wear the Spew jumper? And he said, yes, the Spew shirt. Did you also wear the Spew shirt as well? Did you wear that?
Yeah, it's called the King Roo shirt.
Oh, my God. And you did wear it. Oh, my
yes, God. Yes. That was in my era. So,
my God. What did you think of it?
Well, I suppose it's a bit of a fashion statement, and I think it's coming back into vogue now.
It is. And actually, if you notice the Matildas, they wear something similar to that, actually.
They do.
They do.
So, it was a bit of a laugh at the time, but there you go. It's making a comeback nowadays.
Yes, and now the thing is, the games you played for the Socceroos, did you play against Premier League, First Division clubs or clubs from different countries, or was it a lot more countries you played for? Qualifiers, what sort of qualifiers did you play in?
Some World Cup qualifiers. Taiwan, we played over there.
Yes.
In Taiwan. I played the President's Cup tournament, which was the dress rehearsal for the 1988 Olympics.
Was that in Korea? Yes.
In Korea.
Yes,
correct.
I remember that very well.
Absolutely.
Various games against the likes of the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I think we played, Czech Republic was here. The likes of Egypt over there. South Korea we played on a number of occasions. So, it was, I suppose, over a 5-6 year period that I was involved with the Socceroos. I had something like 19 appearances and scored 6 or 7 goals. Fantastic. So, great memories.
You would have played against guys like with Charlie Yankos and all these guys and Paul Wayne. All these guys you would have played with in club football. You played with them in the Socceroos as well. So there you go, right through all your friends.
Certainly did.
And Frothy, you got some more
absolutely.
questions for...
Well, look, Andrew, I like the way you said you were a raw talent. I like the first part of what you said there because we've got the mighty raw up here, and I'm also a member at the Western United Football Club.
No.
There it is right there. I thought I'd put up. So I'm all excited. There's going to be a merger. But look, now, seriously, your boy was playing. Is he still playing?
Say that again, Frothy. Sorry, mate.
Your boy, is he still playing the game?
Yes, he is.
Where is he these days?
Okay, he's back at Avondale. So he's had, he's probably had about 4 years there, on and off. He had a stint at Western United. He's had a couple of other stints in the A-League with Western Sydney Wanderers and also with Melbourne City in the very, very early days, being a youth player there, and Van Skip giving him some A-League time as well. But he's had a serious string of injuries over the last couple of years, including 4 dislocated shoulders. He's had a shoulder reconstruction. The start of this year, he had a broken rib cage and punctured lung. So he's had a hell of a run with injuries. But no, he's still playing at Avondale, and unfortunately they were 8 points up when the season was shut down due to COVID, and now it's being shut down for good. So that's 2 years in a row that they've unfortunately not been able to take out the title, even though they were probably in a fairly formidable position to do that. But he's enjoying his time there, and really, I suppose, has come of age over the last couple of years, albeit with some serious injuries. He's still playing Frothy. Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, well, look, let's get to this serious stuff here. I'm going to run you got 30 seconds to answer these questions, and Harry's got the clock running here.
I've got the clock running here right now.
So I'm going to ask you 1, 2, 3, it's about 10 questions, so as quick as you can get the answers out.
I'm counting.
Hold on, don't start yet. Now, when you press the button, you tell me so I can start.
Yes. It's on.
It's on. Okay, here we go. Dogs or cats?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
Dogs or cats?
Goals or caps, did you say?
No, dogs, D-O-G-S, or cats, C-A-T-S. I reckon I'm about 25
Oh, dogs or
seconds.
cats?
Yes.
Dogs.
Okay,
dogs. Sorry, mate. Yeah.
Favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Oh, geez. I'd say The Godfather.
Well, that's what someone else said last week.
Keep going.
How are we going for time?
We've got another 10 seconds.
We've got another 10 seconds. Hardest opponent?
Nemanja Djokovic.
How did I know? Can we just pause the clock?
We're pausing it. We just paused it.
Now, Andrew, you're not going to believe this. I knew you were going to say that. And you know what? I should have said it just to prove to people I know what I'm talking about. Now, okay, now restart the clock, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, done. Okay. How do you like your steak?
Rare.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Best soccer player of all time?
Messi.
Absolutely. Twitter or Instagram?
Instagram.
How are we going for time?
That's it.
Yep. Oh, you're joking.
Last one.
Last one. Here we go. Vanilla or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Corona, real or not real? Not the beer. The thing that's going around now.
Sorry, say that again. I could barely hear you. Sorry, I'm having trouble.
Corona, real or not real?
I didn't get it again. Sorry.
Corona. Is it real or not real? Coronavirus.
It's real.
It's real. Okay. Now, Harry, how did we go for time? I know we've
got to get...
Well, sorry, Andrew, you're not going to get the prize because we went for about 5 minutes, unfortunately. Okay. We're going to run out of data now.
Very shortly. Carlos, you got some more more information and questions for
I'm sure Carlos
Andrew.
Got
Carlos.
For us there. Absolutely.
Yes, stepping up to international football, how difficult was that change of scenery, and how did international football make you a better player, Andrew, when you come back to your club?
Okay. The step up to international football, I suppose, wasn't any different to the step up from local football to National League. I think the biggest difference was time on the ball, and then I suppose the other thing that is not so visible is just the mental impact it has on you because of the pressure you can put on yourself. So I
Sorry about that,
think
boys. Morris just flew over.
making that step up from the local football to National League and then National League to international, I thought was very, very similar steps. How did it improve me? I think it just gave me a greater level of self-confidence. When you come back from international duty and playing the local league, you actually you bring with you a level of confidence I think you wouldn't have otherwise thought you had. So
absolutely. Very, very
I hope that makes a bit of sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly right. Exactly.
Now, Andrew, thank you for joining us tonight.
Can I ask him one more question?
Well, you better have, for I think we've got data problems, mate.
Yeah, sorry, Andrew, we've got data problems here. Now, is there a team you follow in the A-League? Because I'm an A-League fan. I obviously go back in the NSL. The 1977... Now, you're not going to... What do you mean, boo? They boo me here. Now, you're not going to believe this. You can ask Joe Palazzides when you see him. He knows me. We saw the 1977 Brownlow medal at his house when... well, I'm not joking. Now, it was either Peter Knights or Malcolm Blight won that. I was sitting there, and I remember him telling me as an 11, 12-year-old, Andrew, now if you still talk to him, raise this question with him, I remember him telling me he's going to play for Hellas one day, and I had a bit of a chuckle.
And he did.
But he did.
He did.
So there you go. Dreams can come true. So, yes,
there you go.
Your A-League team is, there's no doubt it's Brisbane Roar, I take it.
Oh, come on, mate.
Well, you have to be.
You've got to be Victorian team, Andrew, wouldn't you?
Well, why? Why does it have to be Victorian team?
Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, given, I suppose people would know my link with Western United and the fact that we have helped, I suppose, the club develop their design for their stadium and be the inaugural front of shirt sponsor.
Yes.
I suppose we've gotten there's a strategic alliance with Western United, but prior to that, I suppose with my son playing at Melbourne City, it would have been Melbourne City.
Yes.
So I suppose between those two teams is where my allegiances lie.
Okay, I'm going to say this quickly before we go.
Sure.
There's availability here for 3 ticks. I'm going to give 2 ticks to these 2 particular gentlemen that have joined the Western United Ninjas, which is Jamie Young, proven keeper of the year. Denzel Wenzel Halls, whatever his name is, another Raw player you guys pinch from us. Another tick, another positive for the club. But no, I won't say this too loud. Now, I can't say his name, apparently, Harry.
You better hurry up.
But the new coach down at Western United, I don't know, Andrew. Can you just
tell me? I don't know. You're in the media. You should be telling me.
Of course we know who it is.
J.A. Let's just call him J.A. It's not... Well, actually, that's strange, that.
John Aloisi and John bloody
Anastassiadis.
Which one is it, Andrew?
Well, I'm talking about the guy, the Socceroo.
I'm
talking about the Socceroo. Surely Johnny A could have got... the old Bentley coach could have got a run. What are they doing down there? Seriously?
Look, I think Johnny A is a fantastic coach, and I'd love to see coaches from the NPL taking that step up.
Exactly.
In case you don't know, I'm not involved with the operations or board or management team at Western United, but I certainly would love to see a pathway, as there is for younger players in this country. I'd love to see a pathway for younger coaches. Not that Johnny A is young; he's probably spring chicken. But just to see NPL coaches making their mark on the A League, and I think they certainly have the ability to do it, and he's certainly got the credentials to be able to fulfil that role without question.
Andrew, that is happening right now with Pappas. What's his name? At Pappas
at
Arthur Pappas. That's right. Andrew, want to thank you very much for joining us tonight.
It was a pleasure.
Andrew, thank you. And Carlos, can you please hold on? We've got something to talk to you about too, Carlos.
Absolutely. I'll stay on the line.
Please, thank you, Andrew, for joining us. Thank you very much.
Andrew Zinni, the great from Brunswick Juventus.
Thank you for having
me. Pleasure to talk to you guys.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for your time. It was valuable. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Catch you. Now, Carlos, are you there?
Carlos, no,
I'm
Carlos.
still here.
Now,
what was the number of Andrew Zinni?
I'm about to bring up something very important. At 8:30 tonight, Carlos, Four Corners are featuring about the A-League tonight and what is going on with the A-League. They're going to be saying a few things about the A-League. Now, we're not very happy. We're not very happy about this. There are entities within the A-League that need to be actually checked out. What's going on there? So tonight they're going to be Bonita Missiari's on there. Bonita's on there, by the way, which is fantastic. You know, Carlos.
Yeah, look, early in the morning, I think I sent you.
Yes, I saw it.
The news flash from Four Corners, and the issue that Four Corners will raise is the foreign ownership of the clubs, and perhaps the lack of transparency.
Yes.
Of what the foreign owners may be or may not be doing away from the game, and the alleged links to other. I have to choose my words carefully. To other activities away from the game. So you could trust Four Corners to do a very thorough, in-depth and thought-provoking expose on the game.
Yes.
And I think whilst we need to welcome as many investors as we can to grow the game, we also need to have perhaps checks and balances, and maybe this tonight's program, it is a catalyst to bring the checks and balances that the game needs for the game to prosper.
Exactly. Now, what I will ask you is, and has something to do with a lot to do with Melbourne City. So I don't want to talk too much about it. We need to see what's going on.
Why can't we talk too much about it?
I cannot talk too much because of the information will be coming out on Four Corners tonight. So, Carlos, I really believe there's going to be some information there that's going to really shock a lot of people, and we don't mean that in a. How can we even think of who's running this A-League anymore? Because these entities that are running them, we don't know what their backgrounds are. And there was something to do last year when they were talking about Perth Glory. A certain gentleman was going to actually take over Perth Glory from Tony Sage. And what happened? If you remember what happened at that time, they was in some kind of trouble and some kind of, I don't want to go in there, but there was a gentleman there that they actually said, no, he's not going to do it now. Do you know what I mean? Because they exposed him, if you remember.
Yeah, look, it is a complex issue. The City Group obviously has a number of clubs around the world, and they're very strategic where they purchase clubs and develop players. They've got clubs in Belgium, France, Mexico, Uruguay, USA, maybe Argentina, USA, and Japan. So they're very strategic, and it also, but having said that, it also provides a pathway for younger players. Look at Fornaroli. He came from an affiliate in Greece to Melbourne City.
That's right.
So it does provide a pathway for younger players to be sent away to a sister club because they're not ready for the first grade at Manchester City. It also provides a pathway for coaches to learn from the best, like Pep Guardiola. He just achieved a milestone for the 211 games won in the EPL.
Yes.
And in the style that he does play. So, the model provides a pathway for the benefit of the game, players and coaches and administrators. We have James Johnson. He was part of the City Group in the governance part. So he was part of that group, learning how to run football. So the model has a lot of merit. However, we need, obviously, have checks and balance that everything is transparent.
Yes, exactly. Now, Carlos, if you want to hang on, we are going to be talking about something. We want to bring on Gavin Fisher, Mr. MPL.
Yes.
Can you please hold on there? Because
Absolutely.
we are going to be talking about this debacle this afternoon with South Melbourne and Western United.
It's about
now,
time.
we're going to be talking about this because this afternoon the chairman of South Melbourne has spoken.
Don't worry about him. I know others in there.
And we'll tell you right now that it's not. It is. It's going to be right now at 7 o'clock when we started our show. The CEO of Western United had gone on 3XY, the Greek channel in Melbourne, talking about what's going to be happening at Lakeside. Before that, Nick Makoussis, which is the president of South Melbourne, said they got no chance. So at 7 o'clock, This had happened. So we're going to get Mr. MPL. If you can please hold there,
Yes,
Carlos, for a few
Absolutely.
moments. Just hold on for a sec.
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Now, you're going to have to ring him 2 times, remember?
I mean, I don't know how we're going to get him on because he's always got this special spy phone.
That's the one. The
bloody spy
just
phone.
Call him twice, and he's up to the gig tonight. I spoke to him today, and he's in full support of a merger.
I'm not going to get into that fight
They're
here.
going to be green jumpers with blue stripes.
Can't talk like that, I'm sorry.
Because I spoke to a South Melbourne official, and you know I did. So you know,
He's not even gonna
and
answer.
I know that you know that
I've
what
gotta
I'm
ring him
saying is
twice.
accurate. Well,
Look,
hang up and call
Well, let's
him.
see what his information is. I got some information
He's got
last night.
information.
Hi,
There's
the
his
person
sister.
you have
His
called
sister's
is
back
not
again.
available.
Again.
Carlos,
Give him another
hold on
thing.
there, Carlos, for a sec. One more time.
Well, I'll play the great tune of her. Well,
See if we get him this time.
yeah, well, we'll try again.
God help us, mate.
Hello.
Hey, is that Mr. NPL?
Hey,
Are you there? We finally got you.
Carlos,
Hold on for a
Kevin.
sec. We've got Carlos on with
Hold
you
on,
right
we
now.
got Carlos
Hold on for a sec,
Bielli.
please. Now, guys, this is very important that everyone listens to this tonight. If you're a South
Absolutely
Melbourne,
important.
guess what? They've all gone. Got to call them again.
Well, what happened there?
I don't know what's happened to you, boys.
What, they fell asleep on
Oh,
us?
they must have fallen asleep on us again, mate. Honestly, I can't believe this,
I
man.
have said Carlos.
You there?
Hello.
Hold on,
Hello,
I've got to get Carlos
He's
back.
back
This
in
is
town.
something
Back.
going on here. This stupid, crazy system that we've got here.
Sorry, Gav, we're a bit low on data, mate, so we're going to have to make it really
Yes, Harry,
quick.
Hold on there for a sec. Hold on.
We got him?
Hang on. Just hold on for a sec, guys. We've got these. Are you both
Still
guys?
here,
Are
Harry.
you both
Still here,
together?
mate.
Carlos, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Wow.
Carlos, you got Mr.
Hallelujah.
MPL.
Carlos, how you going?
How are you, young
Hold
man?
on for a sec. Now, gentlemen, this is what I have tonight here. And both of you need to listen to this. I've listened.
listen.
I have actually listened to Nick Macousas, the president of South Melbourne, speak this afternoon.
I've never heard of him.
And also, I call this the battle for Lakeside Stadium. We should have a playoff between South Melbourne and the Western Ninjas to see who plays at the ground. I think we should have a game there, I think. What do you think, Carlos? We should have a game there.
Whoa.
It's like a boxing match to see who wins to gets power of Lakeside. What do you think of that?
Well,
No, I think the whole saga is a sad indictment on our game.
It is.
I think South Melbourne should be glad to be sharing the ground with Western United because
Thank you,
the
Carlos.
game is bigger. The game is bigger than the individual,
You should see.
and we need to have a vision. South Melbourne, in my view, is a case of sour grapes. That they missed out to a club from a growth area in Melbourne, which is growing in population wise leaps and bounds. So they lost out to a club which, based on demographics, will have a good future in the A-League, but didn't have a ground. So to me, it's sad that clubs are not assisting each other for the benefit of the game.
well, I'll tell you what,
Frothy,
Gav,
say something, please.
Now, Gav, I want
Speak
you
into
to
the
talk
microphone.
about this.
In your microphone.
We both spoke today, and you're not in favour of the merger, the possible merger.
Oh, my God.
Now, what's your take on it, Gav? Now, be
Well, I
serious.
just heard what Carlos just said then. And how you going, Carlos? First
I'm
time
very
I
well,
spoke
thank
to you on
you,
the phone.
Mr.
It's good.
MPL.
Yeah,
Victoria,
it's good. Yeah,
very well.
Mr. New South Wales MPL, mate. How
Exactly.
you going?
Exactly.
Thank you for the accolade.
No worries, mate. No, I just heard what you were saying then, mate. And look, mate, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. I'm trying to be, trying to say that your opinion's not valid or anything like that. But I just completely disagree with what you said then, completely and utterly, mate.
Well, it's a debate.
What we've done a hell of a lot for the football in this country in the last 62 years. We've been completely shafted over the last 16. We've been treated like absolute rubbish, that we don't matter, that no one cares about us, that we should just go away and die.
Correct.
And that'd be better for the game. And why should we hand over our ground that we've worked so hard for, that we've built through blood, sweat and tears for our volunteers, through the history of our club, to just give it to some bunch of blokes who couldn't care less about football in this country because they're all in it for the money, mate. And that's the bottom line.
Exactly right.
Look, the history of how the A-League clubs from yesteryear were treated by the new administration is well documented. And no one disagrees that a lot of people feel aggrieved, not just South Melbourne, but all the other clubs are still playing in the state league. To me, and I don't know the fine print, but no, very few clubs, and perhaps South Melbourne owns the ground outright, or they have a long-term lease.
It's a bit of a long story, but yes, we have a long-term lease at the ground because of the renovations to the ground that was done 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. So, look, the history, the past treatment cannot be denied. Everyone feels aggrieved, and rightly so. It appears that the previous history needs to be erased, but it doesn't need to be erased. And past administration gave that impression to the other clubs that all it existed was the new A-League as opposed to the pioneering days of yesteryear.
All right,
but
now listen. Go on.
Go on, Gavin.
Having said that, the clubs, the game need each other to prosper.
Correct. I agree with you 100%. They need us, we need them, so let's work together, mate. That's what we want. That's what we've always wanted to do.
To me, with the current COVID-19, everyone struggling for finances and money because we haven't had a season, haven't had people coming through the door to buy tickets. And I'm not there, so I'm speaking north of the border, sitting on the fence. But if I was an administrator looking at my finances and the hit that we took financially, if someone came to me and said, we offer you X amount of dollars to use the ground on 6 occasions, and it doesn't interfere with the running of the Victorian Premier League, and if it does, we'll work around you. If I was the club treasurer or the financial controller, I would go, well, this is 200,000 plus I didn't have. How can we make this work?
I understand what you're saying, and that's fair enough too. But when you look at it from our point of view, from South Melbourne point of view, we put in application to join this league. We've put in 3 applications to join this league. They've all been denied. But the third one was the most hardest to take because of who was selected in front of us with the deal and the proposal put forward by them to the FFA, and the FFA accepted that over us. And all they had was a bunch of talk and a bunch of promises that were never going to be delivered in a million years. And we had a proper ground, we had a proper history, we had a real supporter base, we had the money, we had everything in place, and these people were chosen over us. So that's okay. That's fine. We've just got to accept that, and we have, and we've moved on. But why should we now let these people play at our ground? This is just crazy. It makes no sense to me whatsoever, and it's just wrong. It's
no. Oh, before Frothy comes on, before you guys say anything, I heard the interview this afternoon with Nick Makusis. I heard the interview. Last night, information came out, Carlos, you 3 guys listening right now, last night this information came out that they were a buyout, and this is what one of the supporters came out and said this, and I'm not going to mention his name. We have that interview. We had that saying to me that what's happening is Western United are wanting to buy out South Melbourne.
And that'll never happen, Harry, in a million years. That will never happen. I didn't believe.
The members won't let it happen. No, I didn't believe that. And then I rang someone who knows me, and they said to me, "It's rubbish." And I will tell you guys this scoop right now.
Okay, let us
And I will tell you right now.
Tell us
it's
right now.
the other way around.
Okay.
It's the other way around where it's the other way around where South Melbourne have actually offered to buy the licence from Western United. You got that scoop today? There it is from me. I got that last night from someone high up. There you go. They want the licence to play in the A-League. They've got the ground. There it is. There is something going on here that we do not know. A lot of people don't know what's going on here, Carlos and Frothy and Gavin. A lot of things that are under the table that we don't know about. Frothy.
Well, let me just jump in, fellas. We've been around for a while.
There you go. It will happen. There you go.
Now, look. What Gav said is correct, and a major portion of what Carlos said is also correct too. But it's simple. It's really, really, really simple, okay? Gavin said it 3 applications were made, and they keep knocking them back. Now, as far as I'm concerned, yes, get them at the ground, to grow the game, bring more people in, sell more hot dogs. So South Melbourne, Gavin, it's fair to say they attract about 3,000-4,000. So if we get the Ninjas over, we'll have another 32 people. Now, whoopie-doo, that's not going to do nothing, Carlos. But what I'm saying is, look, it's a great idea, but the point is, it's a strong point. This team keeps on, and look, it could have been any team. It could have been Heidelberg, it could have been Brisbane City, it could have been Marconi. They have knocked them back on 3 occasions, and I'm in full support of South for telling them to get stuff, because now that they want them, they chose a team to gamble with no supporters, no nothing, they leave these great teams of Marconi, Melbourne Knights, Sydney Olympic, and the list goes on.
You and me
to get a team. No, look, I am bloody furious here. Now I'm going to stick up.
My God.
I'm going to stick up for the old NSL team.
Oh,
and look, no, I am, because they made 3 bids, and I am pissed off, Harry.
No, you know and I know, and I'll bring
What
Carlos
do we
into
know?
it. You and I know that we've been to a game to see Western United play Brisbane Roar, right?
Yes, we did. Yes,
the
we
most ridiculous game that I've seen, the most ridiculous crowd I've seen.
Well,
how do they make their money?
Well, can I say this, Carlos and Gav? Obviously, you guys are going to go to this game. We went to, it was Ballarat, wasn't it?
Oh, I couldn't believe
Where did
it.
we go? There was 2,900 people.
Oh.
Now, you try and tell me, FA or Jimmy Johnson, they must have known they're not going to attract 5, 6, 7, 8, 10,000 people.
Won't happen.
So they choose these teams that have got nothing behind them, and there you go. There you go. They've got nowhere to play. Where do they train, Harry? Do they train in the streets?
Well, I have another scoop for you right now.
Well, here we go.
And now, another one that I will tell you, gentlemen, right now is that this is a former NSL club that they're actually, well, you could say this.
Now, what's their name? Can you tell
George
us?
Cross.
George Cross.
Carol, it was Sunshine George Cross. Now it's
The
Caroline.
Georgies.
They do not want them on their ground anymore.
Well,
they don't want them there because they're taking all the room, and they've got their juniors into training and everything. And this is the thing right now,
Understand
too.
that, Harry?
Yes.
I heard as well. They're moving to Essendon's training ground at Tullamarine, the hangar.
Oh, my God. You've got to be... Oh, well, there's going to be trouble there, too, to tell you the truth. There you go.
That's what I heard. Because the Western United chief executive is the former chief executive of Essendon.
Oh, God help
and
us.
they've done a deal
God
with
help us.
Essendon to train at the hangar at Tullamarine on Melrose Drive.
Well, I'll tell you what.
They've had 6 home grounds to play at.
Gavin?
Now they've had three training grounds. So, like it's just a farce. It really is. They are a farce.
Carlos, let me tell you something right now.
Yes.
What Gavin is saying about Tullamarine, where the Essendon Football Club, the AFL club is, what happens there is they've got 2 grounds. Two training grounds, which means they're probably going to give them 1 ground, and then Essendon will train on the other side. So therefore, and this is true, and I heard this again from someone last night, they don't want them no more at Caroline Springs. They don't want them because they said...
They're not paying their bills, Harry.
That's right. And also they said they had 3 years to build a ground, Carlos, and they still have not done it, and now they're looking for grounds to play on. Carlos, what do you think of that?
Look, I think South Melbourne's... Look, we'll agree that South Melbourne was rejected 3 times.
Yes.
And I think that South Melbourne's time will come as well. Also, the application for Tasmania was very, very strong.
Yes.
And they also feel very aggrieved that they didn't get the gig. And whilst South Melbourne, the reason that Lakeside is the preferred option, and probably the only option in Melbourne is because not many grounds in Melbourne have the capacity to meet A-League standards when it comes to the lights.
Yes.
I mean, the Melbourne Knights have a great ground that could, but they need to spend a bucket lot of money bringing that ground to A-League standards when it comes to the lighting.
Okay.
Carlos, what you're saying about the Whites, if you listen to the Western United and the A-League, they are even saying Lakeside Stadium's lights are not up to A-League standard, which is crazy.
Rubbish. They are up to standard. And boys, before I go on, gentlemen, and if they go to Essendon, right, like you're saying, Gavin, There's no lights there either, so
Yes.
they're in a lot of trouble. There's no lights there, so
No,
there you go.
they're going to train at Essendon, Harry. There is nothing at Essendon's training ground
There
for
is
them to play games. No way.
There's no way.
They wouldn't be allowed
Sorry.
to do anything.
There's also the number of corporate boxes and facilities that the ground needs to have for A-League.
Yeah,
So not just the lights, is the floodlights for night games is part of the equation, and it's in the player's contract that has to be a certain, brightness. I forgot the magical figures because Rockdale.
It's $1,000 or something,
Yeah,
something like that. Some
Rockdale-
technical term.
That's it.
Rockdale, when they host the Sydney FC at Rockdale, they have to bring extra towers to
Yes.
make that light part comply with the A-League agreement. Look, but at the end of the day, regardless of the past and the grievances of the past, the game is at stake, and the grievances that we're hearing, the dirty laundry, the bad feelings in public, we are giving ammunition to the other coach to keep saying these guys cannot run a club if the life dependent on them. They are petty. So we've got to think of the bigger picture. Yes, it happened, but we are now giving ammunition to the people who love to put us down because we have this argument which is not leading to the growth. Yes, to the growth of the game. Yes, they had 3 years, but we have to also understand there's a planning process, and we can't just build a stadium in 6 months. We have to put plans to council.
Carlos,
I understand that. And, that's fair enough too, Carlos. And the other thing about I just want to mention, you mentioned about the Western United Stadium. When Western United put their application in and it was accepted by FFA, 3 years ago, they said this year, 2021-22, the stadium will be built. Now, standing here in September 2021, the application for the stadium to be built hasn't even been accepted. Nothing has been done. No money has been. They've never come out and said we have the money. This is where the money's coming from. They have no agreement with the council. All they have is a site, and that is it. They've done nothing in 2 years, and supposedly, when the application was put in to join the league, the ground was going to be built by this year. It's
this is something that
Can I
James
just jump
Johnson,
in there? Carlos, can I just jump in there?
This is something for James Johnson and the executive
I agree.
at FA to draw the line in the sand, because they got in, they got a team, and they're providing opportunities for people to play football and to make a living and everything else. So this is something for FA to either kick them out or give them an ultimatum.
Mm-hmm.
The players are the meat in the sandwich. Are like football orphans at the moment, and the coaching staff are like football orphans because through no fault of their own, this thing has become bigger than Ben-Hur. But at the end of the day, the buck has to stop with FA and James Johnson and say, well, guys,
Carlos,
this is the criteria. If we can't do it, then you might have to vacate the license.
Carlos, can I jump in there?
Yes, Prof, absolutely.
Can I jump in there? As far as I'm concerned, you've got big hotshot executives making all these calls, getting paid 200, 300, 400, 500 G's a year. It's very, very, very simple. They stuffed it up because, and I will say it again, there is massive teams, past giants of the game. They should have had a look in first. They took a gamble. They can see that no people are going to Western United, which is not a good thing. I wish they get 100,000 tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But it's not working. Now, when they did the application, maybe they should have spoke to South Melbourne and said, listen, fellas, if it doesn't work in Ballarat or GMHBA or the Georges ground, can we use your ground? But no. So what's happened here is They can see that the ship is slowly sinking out there, just like it did with Gold Coast and the North Queensland Fury team, which was another disaster. The further north you go in Queensland, they wouldn't even know what a soccer ball looks like. Oh, sorry, football, sorry.
Yes.
They wouldn't know what it bloody looks like. So, all I'm saying is they've only got themselves to blame because they've got this particular thing in their heads that, the old NSL clubs were trouble. But I've been to lots of A-League games, mate. I tell you what, Gav and Carlos, especially Victory and Sydney FC and Western United, those three in particular. I have seen brawls, yes, and Adelaide. I have seen brawls like you wouldn't believe. But typical newspapers, they work with the Soccer Federation. They don't report it. So we're all thinking the game's all fixed up. Well, it's not fixed up. There is still fights and people still aren't going. So, by ejecting the old NSL, which they thought they're going to create this new league, which was quite okay for quite some years, it's only the last 3-4 years we've seen a decline in crowds, it's a failure. It's as simple as that. It's a failure. Now, what do we do? Look, I'm all for moving on, this, that, the other, but good on them, South Melbourne, for not telling them to get stuff, because they are a team. Regardless, we follow them. It doesn't matter. Look, it could have been Heidelberg. They're another massive club. Sydney Olympic.
That's right, Crockies. Heidelberg Knights have got way more to offer than Western United ever will.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay, boys.
And that's a South Melbourne fan saying that, mate.
Exactly.
We're going to wind this up in a couple of minutes, but I have some other news for you guys.
Data to go on.
Just a few minutes. Now, gentlemen, I have this information this afternoon.
Have you got now?
When I heard Nick Makoussis speak this afternoon, he also mentioned that the FFA Cup game between South Melbourne and Melbourne City, right? Gavin, you know that one that's coming up, right?
Yes.
Now, he also said that... well, this is happening everywhere, and this is another issue that we need to talk about real quickly.
Well,
that you need to be double vaxxed before you can get into the stadium.
Oh, here we go.
No, so that's another one. Okay, so
mate, Carlos, as long as it goes ahead, mate, I'm happy, mate. I don't care. I've been vaccinated. I'm fine.
Same, we're all the same here. What's happened? But
can I jump in there, Harry?
We've got a few minutes.
Since Carlos Bielli... Yep, go for it.
Sorry.
No,
I was just going to get back to a couple of points. I just wrote down a couple of points as everyone was talking and stuff. I just wanted to bring up as well. I heard you talking about Jimmy Johnson saying he has to take responsibility for Western United. Well, to be fair to Jimmy Johnson, your mate, Proffies, he wasn't in charge when Western United...
David Gallup.
That's
yes,
right.
Correct. He wasn't in charge. It was Frank Lowy and David Gallup were in charge who let them in the league. So Jimmy Johnson's just got to clean up the mess, mate. That's all he has to do.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Basically, I was trying to say the ones that are on 300, 400, 500 Gs a year. Now, this double vaccination to get in the game. Now, Carlos is a lawyer. Now, Carlos, tell us, is mandatory law?
Look, I'm not going to get into the argument.
No.
I am double vaccinated.
We've got a lawyer on board.
Can
I just say one thing, Carlos? As far as I know, I've Googled it, I've searched it, and everyone who knows the law, now I don't know New South Wales, they've got a different law, mandatory is not law. So now if you can't get in, that's discrimination. Is that true, Carlos?
Frothy, we don't have mandatory COVID-19 vaccination in this country.
That's right.
Well, hold on. I work somewhere, and they said to me, where I work, Carlos, they said to me, if you don't get the jab, we can't start you.
Okay, that is. But
yes,
as at today, you have a choice to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. Now, there are certain work environments where people are very close to each other, and there's no room to space you around to protect you. So there are certain places where it is advisable for people to be vaccinated to protect your fellow workers and your people around you. And football is going that way. I'm looking forward to watching the Matildas against Brazil next month.
Yes.
And being allowed in, albeit it's a test run, because 5,000 with a very strong biosecurity bubble. And if that works off, then the Socceroos are coming home.
Yes,
but every one of the 5,000...
Well,
exactly.
I have the solution.
What's the solution, Uncle?
I have the solution, gentlemen.
Here we go. Listen up. Clean out your
I
ears.
will be making spacesuits for those guys who are not...
Sorry.
I'm going to be making spacesuits for everyone who is not vaccinated with their own club logo on their spacesuits, the colours on them.
Oh, that is
I think
brilliant.
fantastic.
The hazmat suits. Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yes, spacesuits for them.
How much are you going to charge?
Well, I reckon $500 would be enough, wouldn't it? With a special helmet there with their own
Yeah.
club
Well,
logo
yeah.
on it as well.
Oh,
That'd be
really?
Only one
fantastic.
football can make some spacesuits, Harry. I
And I
love it,
think when I
mate.
speak to David Ben tomorrow about this, making these
Yep,
spacesuits.
get David Ben on the phone,
Exactly,
mate.
with their own oxygen, Carlos. What do you think of that? I think it's a fantastic
Oh,
idea.
look,
Oh.
I'm thinking that it could be like the astronauts going into instead of going to Apollo 17 would be Lakeside 17.
Exactly.
Exactly, mate. I want to get a spacesuit, mate, because I want to meet some Western United fans, mate, who believe that the stadium's going to go ahead because they live in outer space somewhere. Those people, I swear, mate.
Oh my
I
God!
want to meet some.
Mate,
Well, hold on, fellas. If we all put on an N95 mask, which is 99% bulletproof, why can't we
What?
sit next to each other? An N95 mask, I know this for a fact because I work for the Department of Health, okay? You put an N95 mask on, you can be within half a metre of someone,
gentlemen,
and you can't contract the
I
virus.
have a message.
So what is the problem?
I have a
Harry?
message from Vietnam right now. You want to hear?
Vietnam.
I got a message from Vietnam.
Peter Holiday, is it?
No, yeah, Stephen Holiday.
Sorry, man,
He's
it's
always
Stephen
on holidays,
Holiday.
and
He's
I have.
always on holiday.
Gentlemen, you want to hear this from Vietnam?
Vietnam.
Okay, it says here, if
Good
you
morning,
want,
Vietnam.
I'll say it the right way.
Yes.
If you want a hooker, you need to be vaxxed. Oh my God!
Well, there you go. There you
That's
go.
John
my
Sands.
God, no.
That's John Sands.
Oh
Harry.
no, that's
Well,
disgusting.
for you,
It's
Harry.
absolutely.
Get you out of
Well,
your
it's for the
funk,
single
mate.
We don't
fellas,
want
exactly.
we don't want to hear any more of this stuff, gentlemen. Please online, do
John
not put that
Sands
up
at his
again.
best right
No,
there,
thank
mate.
you, Carl. I'm disgusted, Carlos, with that.
He's probably talking about the
God,
rugby
love
team.
it, son.
It's a
Keep going, John.
It's a football show, gentlemen. Please, no
It
more of
is
this
a
stuff.
football
Thanks.
show.
That's
It is
right.
a football
John, that is best.
show. Well,
No,
look,
it was
guys,
Stephen
look,
Holiday. Stephen Holiday.
Well, look, let's.
I was like, and just I want to mention a couple other things just quickly as well, because just going back to what we we're talking about previously about Western United and the different grounds and stuff. The lights are supposedly a problem at both grounds, Lakeside and Summer Street. The Knights have spent a lot of money over the last 10 years on the ground. The ground is like so much better than it ever was in the NSL.
Absolutely.
And with at both grounds, there's at least 10 corporate boxes at both grounds, at least.
Yes. Gentlemen,
So,
we've.
there's, and the facilities are great. There is absolutely no reason why Western United couldn't play there compared to they played at Ballarat where Harry and Frothies went, Western Oval, which is Footscray Football Club's former home ground, now training ground.
The Bulldogs.
It's just crazy. It's like they can,
Gentlemen.
and their fans would love Summer Street because you're close to the pitch. It's a proper football ground,
Yes.
and it's in the western suburbs, close to where all their so-called supporters live.
Okay.
It's perfect for them.
Gentlemen,
For
we've got
whatever reason.
to finish there. We're
Can I say
running.
one more thing, Sunday?
You got 5 seconds. That's it.
Simple, fellas. Simple as this.
Better do
they
it.
reject the old past NSL greats and they persist with these teams where they can't
I
get
don't wanna
10 people
talk
to the
about-
ground. Well, I tell you what, they had it coming, Harry. It's
Carlos,
as simple as
Exactly
that.
right, Coffee. Spot on, mate.
Carlos, thank you for
Spot on,
coming
mate.
on tonight, Carlos.
Absolutely spot on. Now, we all
Boys,
got to sing
not
together.
together.
We are
Always
running
mine.
out of data, boys. I can't do this. We can't keep going.
Well,
Carlos,
we're going to sing
thank you
tonight.
very much for
Harry,
coming on.
Tommy.
Boys, thank you for joining us. Next Monday,
you,
we're on.
thank you,
Next
everyone.
Thank you,
Monday.
boys. Next
Yes,
Monday,
yes.
we're on again. Monday at 7 p.m, guys. And
Can we
so,
sing a
Go,
Beatles classic?
Here
Can
we
we
go.
sing Hey
Thanks,
Jude?
guys.
Hey Jude. Now, you know the name of it. You know the words of that song.
thank you for joining us, guys. We got through
Bye,
tonight.
guys. Talk to you
Thank you,
soon.
gentlemen.
Take
Thank you,
care,
boys.
guys.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you for
Okay,
coming on.
Carlos, nice to
I
meet
think
you,
I'll
mate.
tell you what.
Thanks,
Talk to you
guys.
soon.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for
I
just
don't know.
football. This is live again next
I
week.
believe
Next week at
the Ninjas.
7 p.m. Once
Ninjas,
more.
they're not a bad
7 p.m. one
outfit.
more
I mean,
time.
apart
Tuesday
from
night
the
with
colours.
Michael Theo. Michael Theo is coming on to see us. Michael Theo.
I've never heard of him.
Fantastic goalkeeper.
He's a goalkeeper, is he?
Yes.
Never heard of him. Now what I was saying about the Ninjas. Yeah. Look,
The
fair
cup
enough.
of life.
They got-
This is the one.
They got no ground.
Now
I
is
mean,
it up?
negative
Don't never stop.
Colours aren't all that.
We
Now,
shouldn't
green and
know.
black. Now, you
Gotta
gotta
be
say,
strong.
green and black is
We
not
shouldn't
great
know.
colours.
Right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really get out of here. I feel it in your soul. You want the cup of life. Night the days here, you're gonna get it. Do you really want it? Do you? Good night, guys. Join us next week with Michael Theo, fantastic championship goalkeeper who played for South Melbourne and in the A-League as well.
Michael Theocritos.
Good night, guys.
That's
Thank
the
you for
one.
joining us. See you next week. Thank you.
Hi guys, Harry Sunday here, letting you know that there's a apparel company that supports the game that you love. It's called ThereIsOnlyOneFootball.com, guys. They've got all sorts of stuff, from caps, t-shirts, water bottles, all sorts of accessories, even for your mobile phone. All that sporting stuff you can wear anywhere you want to wear it, guys. That's right. And don't forget the website it's on, ThereIsOnlyOneFootball.com.
There is only one football.